Hi everyone. Today I will talk about Warren Buffett. Who is Warren Buffett? Warren Edward Buffett was born on August 30, 1930. His mother's name is Leila and his father is Howard Buffett. A congressman come from to the stock market. One of the three children of Howard and Leila. Warren Buffett's father was a four-term US senator. Warren, the second eldest child in the family, has two sisters. Warren has shown that from an early age, regardless of his brothers, he has an incredible talent for money and business matters. His primary education was at Rose Hill Elementary School. In 1942, his father was elected to the United States Congress and they moved to Washington. After graduating from Ellis Deal Middle School, he graduated from Woodrow Wilson High School in 1947. During high school, he made money by distributing newspaper, selling golf balls and stamps. If you can't afford to own a stock for 10 years, don't even own it 10 minutes. The first members of the Scandinavian-born family in the US were involved in the grocery business. When Buffett was only 6 years old, he paid 25 cents to buy 6 packs of Coca-Cola from his grandfather's grocery store and managed to sell it for a profit of 5 cents of each. He was busy making money while his peers played hopscotch or five stones on the street. Already 5 years 5 years later, he took his first step into the financial world. Buffett was attending dinners with Wall Street's most important stockbrokers at the age of 10. When he was just 11 years old, he bought 3 shares of stock from Steve Services Preferred for $38 apiece for himself and his older sister Doris. Although the value of the shares fell to $27, it remained calm until the values rose to $40. As soon as he saw $40, he immediately sold the shares, but it was a big mistake that he would soon regret, because after that the same shares values went up to $200. This experience taught him one of the most basic rules of investment, his first commercial lesson: buy and hold. If you buy things you don't need, you soon have to sell things you need. Buffett made the decision to start another business with a friend with a second-hand pinball machine he bought for $25 while in high school. Instead of spending what they earned, that the young partner bought more pinball machines. They made a deal with Erico and machines suddenly became popular. They had just made $4 on the first night. Instead of spending what they earned, the young partners bought more pinball machines. Within a few months, Buffett had become a businessman with more than one pinball machine in different barber shops in town. Buffett sold his business a year later for more than price of $1,000. In addition to the pinball machine business, Buffett worked many different jobs during his childhood. He handed out newspaper, sold gum and soda, even washed cars. Throughout various business ventures, Buffett made a small fortune of $53,000 in today's money when he was only 16. Don't accumulate the rest of after you spend the rest after you set aside the accumulation. He had amassed so much wealth in his high school years that he could see no reason to go to college, so much so that he was considering turning down an educational offer made by the Wharton Schools of Business at the University of Pennsylvania, a prestige school. However, he succumbed to his father's wishes and went to college. 2 years later, he returned to Nebraska and continued his education at the University of Nebraska. After completing his college education, he moved to New York City to study at the Columbia Schools of Business. What drove Buffett to move to New York was a famous Wall Street book, The Smart Investor. Buffett, a curious reader, first got his hands on the book when he was 19, and the concept of value investing changed his life. He enrolled at Columbia University just to take lessons from the book author Ben Graham. Although Buffett was the only student to receive an A+ in Graham's lectures, Graham refused to give Buffett a job in his company. He even told he should avoid pursuing a career on Wall Street. After completing his master's degree in 1951, Buffett returned to Nebraska, where his father's brokerage firm, Buffett Falk and Joe, he started working at. He continued to work here for 3 years. But before long, Graham changed his mind about Buffett and offers him a job in 1954. So Buffett moves to New York within his family. Buffett worked as an analyst at Graham Newman Corporation for 2 years and earned $105,000 a year with today's money. After working here for 2 years, he returned to Omaha with Graham's retirement and 1956 established his first investment partnership, Buffett Associates Limited. In 1962, he laid the foundation of Buffett Partnership within Berkshire Hathaway. Although initially seemed like a bad idea due to decline in the textile industry, Berkshire Hathaway has become one of the world's largest holding companies. By the time he was 32, he had become a millionaire. By the end of the 1950s, Warren had founded 7 different partnership companies. He became a millionaire with the money he earned from partnership in 1962. In 1962, Buffett decided to merge all its partnerships under one roof and invest in a textile firm called Berkshire Hathaway. In the early 1960s, he started buying Berkshire Hathaway shares and eventually took all control of the firm to him. In 1964, the share price was only $18. $80. While today the value of the company's stocks 331,370,000,000 $70,000. In the late 1960s, Buffett removed Berkshire Hathaway from the textile industry and entered the insurance industry. In 1982, Buffett's net wealth was $376 million. In 1983, it increased to $620 million. In 1986, at the age of the 556, Buffett became a millionaire despite the $50,000 salary he received from Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway shares American Airlines Group, Apple, Amazon, Axalta Coating System, Bank of America, Biogen, Bank of New York Mellon, Carter Communications, Costa Wholesale Corporation, Delta Airlines, Davita, Globe Life, General Motors, Goldman Sachs Group, Johnson & Johnson, JP Morgan Chase, Ace, Coca-Cola, Kroger, Southwest Airlines, MasterCard, Moody's Corporation, Molders International, Comstock, M&T Bank Corporation, Occidental Petroleum Corporation, Procter & Gamble Corporation, PNC Financial Services Group, Philips Restoration Hardware Holdings, Restaurant Brand International, Visa, Wells Fargo, Verizon. The basic idea of investing is to look at stocks as a business, take advantage of market fluctuation, and find the margin of safety. In 1988, he owned 7% of Coca-Cola shares. This has been one of his best investments. Buffett started buying Coca-Cola Company shares just like a dependent in 1988, 1 year after the economic depression. Buffett's investment in Coca-Cola has grown 16-fold in 27 years. That means it is making a profit of about 11% year on year. Top 10 shares Warren Buffett bought: Bank of America $925 million, Coca-Cola $400 million, Kraft Heinz $325 million, Wells Fargo $323 million, Apple $245 million, American Express $151 million, SiriusXM $136 million, Bancroft $132 million, Bank of New York Mellon $18 million, General Motors $75 million. Buffett became the richest person in the world in 18, sorry, 2008. In 2008, he was named the richest man in the world by Forbes with a fortune of $62 billion and put Bill Gates, who has not fallen from the top for 13 years, in second place. Buffett's simplicity is the highlight of his brand. Buffett's 87 does not have a mobile phone and prefers to travel on public transport. However, that doesn't mean Buffett is stingy, and in 2016 he donated $2.86 billion of Berkshire Hathaway's shares to several associations, including the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Thanks to this donation, his donation over his lifetime reached $28.5 billion. In addition, he and his friends billionaire Bill Gates agreed to donate at least half of their wealth by revealing and singing of the oath of philanthropy. Since 2010, more than 150 people have attended this oath, including Mark Zuckerberg. Thank you for watching.